Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over the top 5 best raw gold farms that you can do right now in WoW BFA. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Coming in at number 1 we have the Iron Docks. Now the Iron Docks comes from around about 4 to 5k depending on what you really get as drop rate. Depending on what you get for a drop rate, but this is on average what you're most likely going to be getting. Along with this, you do get a high amount of different types of transmog items along with that. But at this moment in time, we're going to put that one aside for a transmog farm and focus solely on the raw gold. Now, raw gold farming is a little bit haywire because you don't get as much gold per hour as you would with a conventional farm, but it is a nice alternative option, whether it be you wanting to just get the gold cash in your bags straight away, and that is basically the price you pay for a raw gold farm. You get the gold in your bags, but you don't get as much. So for the Iron Docks, you're mainly running around this area right now, which is on the screen, and what you're going to be doing is just taking out all of the mobs. The majority of raw gold farming is just burning down all of the mobs and keep doing the loop over and over again. Now, that being the case, 4 to 5k is usually on pretty much a high end for doing gold farming for raw gold, so that is a pretty good way in order to just get a good jump ahead. Now coming in at number 2 we have the weekly CATA raids. Now the weekly CATA raids I would specify is the Firelands, the Blackwing Descent, and also the Bastion of Twilight. If you do these 3 with the Potion of Treasure Finding, you are most likely going to be getting around about 5k for the hour. Now this does vary somewhat depending on what you get, but along with this farm it is only a once per week run of this. So you could park all of your alt characters outside of the instances and do that as a weekly thing. So if you have 4 characters, that's 20k a week in raw gold, plus any additional materials that you get from doing your farming through those raids with the Potion of Treasure Finding. Now, along with this, the transmog items that you get from doing these types of raids is inevitable. So the best thing to do is, the majority of the time for CATA transmog items, the majority of them don't sell. So it is worth either vendoring them or disenchanting them, depending on whether you make more gold in the long run through those. But obviously it's a raw gold farm, so it's roughly around about 5k for the hour. So you do those 3 raids with the Potion Treasure Finding, you're going to get around about 5k for the hour for your character. And if you do it on a bulk load of alts every week, it's pretty easy to do and pretty much double your gold every time depending on how many alts you really have. So this is more of an alt specific raw gold farm every week instead of just endlessly grinding with one character. So it may give you a little bit of a diversity, so to speak, when using different types of classes. But that being the case, let's get into number 3. Number 3, we have the Skyreach. This is a WoD dungeon, and this one is in the Spires of Iraq. Now this dungeon is rather easy to do, just have a test run for it. I've actually got the route on the screen, of course. But other than that, to have a couple of test runs before you do this, because there are a few little mechanics in there that you have to work out the kinks for before you can run it effectively. And I would say just give it those test runs in order to get a hang of how you're going to fare. Now, that being the case, this can be done in a relatively around about 10 minutes to around about 15 if you're on the slow end. But you're going to be getting around about 4k for roughly, we'll go for the maximum amount of time you should be spending in there, which is about 15 minutes. So 15 minutes every hour, and you've got 4k every 15 minutes, so to speak. So in 4 hours, you've got roughly around about 16,000 gold. So that's not too bad for just doing 15 minutes work every hour, and then the other 45 minutes you could do it doing something else. This is something that I would usually just park an alt outside of and then do my current content stuff as and when the downtime happens. So you're always making raw gold and you're doing your current content. So it's kind of a good way in order to just get that head start, so to speak. Now coming in at number 4 is another WoD dungeon, and that is the EVERBLOOM. Now the EVERBLOOM it's okay. It's not one of the best raw gold farms in the game, but it is a raw gold farm nonetheless. Now this one is the lowest on our list, and obviously I've ranked it a bit higher, mainly because of its simplistic run more than the gold per hour for this. Now it will take you around about 10 to 15 minutes to do this run again through like Skyreach, and what you're going to be doing is running in, burning them down, resetting the instance. Now you're going to get roughly around about 3.8k to around about 4k, and this is on average by my testing. Now I do find that this one is kind of really simplistic, so if you don't really want to go through all the jargon of having to travel places or just not endlessly grinding like a crazy man, this one's a rather good one because it's just numbing, so you can watch something and do it at the exact same time, which I find to be quite a good one if I feel particularly lazy but I still want to do some gold farming for the day, so I still feel like I've done something. So that being the case, the EVERBLOOM is by far one of your best ones if you want to be half-arsing it, lazy gold farming, so to speak. Now this is a raw gold farm to a point. Now you do get raw gold from this, but it is something you're going to have to advertise at number 5, which is FREEHOLD running. If you've got high enough gear, you can run people through FREEHOLD. Recommended, I would usually take either a warrior or a demon hunter. I find these ones to be able to just run it through pretty easily, as well as a druid, to be honest. If you've got a high enough item level or gear level, so to speak, you'll be able to run through FREEHOLD and power level people, and they will pay you raw gold in your bags per run. Now the price of a FREEHOLD run does depend on your server, so kind of look around in trade chat, see what the average price is for doing a FREEHOLD run for someone is, and then do it through that. Now obviously you will have to advertise yourself, but you get more raw gold per doing this than you would with any of the other farms. You just have to find the people that will give you the raw gold in order to give you the gold, like so you can do the runs and then they give you the gold for it. Now the majority of the time they are paying for the loot as well, but some of them don't really care for the loot, so at the end of the day you do get the chance of possibly getting some of the loot. Now at the end of the day it is personal looting, so you will be getting some loot through this as well, so you'll be able to pick up loads of different types of cloth and all that jazz, but along with that, the more to the point is you'll get some raw gold for boosting someone through FREEHOLD, and that is brilliant because you're not only helping someone else out by providing a service, but you'll be making more raw gold than you would with all of the other raw gold farms that we have specified on this list. So this is technically a raw gold farm. It just requires you to do a little bit of advertising and trade chat in order to get your market, so to speak, your potential customers, so to speak. But other than that, guys, that is my 5 best ways on how to make raw gold. I hope that you like the video, guys, and if you think of any other raw gold farms that I missed out, please put them in the comment section down below. Other than that, guys, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you on the next video, which will be Wednesday. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I shall see you on the next video on Wednesday. Take it easy, guys, and I shall see you soon.